Welcome back. It is Sunday, June 11th, and the MLB, our four favorite picks are on the way. It's Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. Another solid winning day, 2-in-1 day. But Logan, we cannot get a sweep if you can't do it. If you see our first two picks cash, just know the third one's not hitting because that's just how it's been recently. But hey, we'll take profit when it's there. Marlins White Sox nerfy, we cash that one again. The Ronald Acuna hit plus the over 9.5 same game parlay cashes for about plus 125. Needed Stone Garrett to clutch up in the top of the ninth. We appreciate him. Then the Red Sox money line, they did not bring the bats today, but we're going to be talking about a Red Sox hitter in a little bit. But either way, Logan, you got two picks on the way, and I'm just going to let you hop into the first one. Have a great Sunday, everyone. Let's dive in. Logan, what you got?
Yeah, let's make some money today. I'm really sick and tired of, some of the bad losses I've been having. Just bad outcomes in baseball, but you got to get back on the horse day after day. We're going to an earlier game in this one, Marlins versus White Sox, and I'm taking the over 8.5 total runs in this one. Plus 110 odds on Caesars is currently your best value. I've definitely line shop in this one because even though it is a total, we found it for plus value. We're, of course, going to take that. Now, we've seen the prior two games of the series stay under this total. Today is the day, I think, when the offenses sort of break out against these two pitchers. And for the record, I do like the Marlins on the money line. It has value. It's just sort of a public underdog. And I really don't like public underdogs. Red Sox were a public underdog last night, and you saw how that one fared for me. But Lucas Giolito starts for the White Sox, 3.75 ERA and a 1.2 whip on the year. Pretty solid numbers. If you look at Giolito's expected ERA, 4.26, and he's near the bottom in barrel percentage and expected slugging. So those are kind of signs of danger, honestly, if you look at it. Giolito, last time he was on the mound, 6 innings pitched, 0 and runs, 0 hits allowed. He just absolutely pitched a masterclass. I think it would be appropriate today if he gave up some hits and runs, because that's just kind of how baseball works. Some of these pitchers regress back to the mean. They have a really good start, and then they have not so great start. If you look at Giolito, he's a better pitcher statistically at home, but the home run problem is a real thing. He's given up 5 home runs in his last 4 home starts. His last home start, he gave up 2 home runs. So I'm just saying these Miami hitters have seen him before, and they've actually had pretty decent success. Luis Ariz hitting 241 against him. Soler, only 217 batting average, but 2 home runs in there. You got Gene Segura 1 for 1, and his one hit being a home run. And you got Gurriel hitting 286 with a home run as well. So there's a lot of potential for them to hit around Lucas Giolito today. I don't know what the Marlins lineup's going to look like. Unfortunately, we don't have that info yet. But I definitely think there should be run opportunities against Lucas Giolito today. And on the other side, we've got Braxton Garrett starting for the Marlins, 4.47 ERA and a 1.3 whip on the year. Garrett has several metrics that, if you look on Baseball Savant, that are in favor of some runs against him, like some blue circles. And if you know Baseball Savant, blue circles are not good for a pitcher. He's 46.6%, 12th percentile in hard hit percentage. Hard hit percentage is extremely important for a White Sox offense that thrives on the extra base hit, right? We know Tim Anderson, a guy like that, lead off extra base hit. That's how they really get those big innings. His expected batting average, 270, that's 11th percentile. Expected slugging, 435, that's 15th percentile. So you see, guys, he's really bottom of the barrel in terms of some of these really important baseball metrics. You can't just look at ERA. You can't just look at whip. You sometimes have to dive into some of these advanced analytics, and they're telling me that Braxton Garrett should get hit around today. And at home, White Sox hitting 275 versus lefties. They're hitting 295 versus lefties in their last 3 games. They've been really good against left-handed pitchers. Of course, Braxton Garrett is a lefty. And if you look late game in this one, White Sox 26th in bullpen ERA, Miami 14th in bullpen ERA. I see run opportunities late in this game as well. I just think there's going to be run opportunities early and late, and that's enough for me to feel confident in taking the over 8.5. So I think we're going to get some runs today as my first pick. But Austin, player prop time, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so I got another hit parlay. That's what we've been doing really well on this season. And while yesterday technically wasn't a hit parlay, hey, it cashed down. Now today will be a certified hit parlay, and let's talk about it. It's going to be our man, Matt McClain of the Cincinnati Reds, and I know Logan loves this guy, Masataka Yoshida of the Boston Red Sox, each to record a hit, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, you can also take this on Sleeper if maybe you're not in a betting legal state. Sleeper has the ability to take the over on both of these guys to get a hit. Comes in right about at minus 116 or 1.86 odds, so not too bad. This is about minus 124 on FanDuel, but as I always say, if you can take this on DraftKings, take it there, especially on a Sunday. Sunday's our team. We always say Sundays are for the dogs. Sundays are when you see a lot of underdogs win outright and things like that. Why is that? Because a lot of guys get rested on Sundays. They kind of give, Not talking about the Cardinals, but sometimes the Cardinals will sit like Goldschmidt and Arenado on Sundays. You see the Stars be sat a little bit more, which is why you see some underdogs kind of come up here. And that's important on DraftKings because if either of these two guys does not play, we'll get a void in that spot, and then we'll just have one unit on the other guy to get a hit. But let's talk about why we like both these two guys. Obviously, we've talked about McClain time and time again, likely going to bat in the 2 spot for this Reds offense if he's active today. And he's batting 343 on the year. He's been really good since being called up back in May, and he has a hit in 5 straight and a hit in 17 of his last 19. This is a guy that's been really consistent, facing Adam Wainwright, who he has seen before, only 1 for 3 against him. His one hit was a home run. So I think McClain will be able to get out there and get a hit. Obviously, if he can't do it against Wainwright, don't worry. Talked about the Reds or the Cardinals bullpen before. He'll have his chances there. And you look at Waino, he's been struggling this year. He's been allowing a 3.26 batting average, 5.97 ERA, and a 1.74 WHIP. He hasn't been walking a lot of guys, which is good, but he's been giving up a lot of hits, which is what we want to see. Now, Wainwright, what he typically throws to right-handed batters, McClain is a righty. It's going to be a lot of cutters and sinkers, about 33% of the time, and 27% a curveball. Now, there's a couple other pitches he throws like 6%, but those are basically over 90% of the pitches that McClain's going to see. Now, McClain has a 0 batting average versus the cutter. That's not ideal. He hasn't seen a lot of cutters, though, so it's hard to really say, oh, this guy cannot hit cutters. Throw only cutters to him. He hasn't seen too many. But you look at the sinker, we've talked about it before, his best pitch to hit, 469, and then 400 versus a curveball. So I certainly think he'll be able to get it done, whether it's against Waino, it's against that Cardinals bullpen. I'm confident McClain can get it done. Now, let's talk about Masataka Yoshida. If you don't know who he is, this is his first season, and he's had a struggling start to the year, but he's been really good, although the last night he did Logan no help. And he's actually done the Boston Red Sox no help in 2 straight because he's hitless in 2 straight games. 0 for 7 with 2 walks in the last 2 games. But I think he comes through today because per Logan, normally what happens is he picks the thing, they score 1 run, and then the next day they score like 8 runs. So, well, the Red Sox are putting up more than 1 run than they did last night, and I think they'll be able to get it done. But we've talked about Yoshida, who is a lefty, batting 305 this season, 319 versus right-handed batters, and 306 on the road. So this is a guy that's been really consistent. He's going to face the righty Clark Schmidt this season, and why I'm targeting Yoshida is because Schmidt allowing a 322 batting average versus lefties, and Yoshida obviously is a lefty. So we'll look at this. Yoshida, obviously, he's a great hitter. Sure, 2 straight games going hitless, not ideal, but this is a guy that can find the holes in the defense and get on base, and I certainly think he can do that. Now, you look at the pitches that Schmidt's going to throw his way. I won't lie to you, Yoshida doesn't have the best splits versus a lot of the off-speed and breaking pitches that Schmidt throws, but I also think that Clark Schmidt obviously has struggled versus lefties and for a reason. I'm confident Yoshida can put one into the outfield, just send it, whether it's a line drive, single, or something like that. Not necessarily a guy hitting for a lot of power, which is fine. We don't want a guy swinging for the fences who goes 0 for 4 and just relies on a home run ball. It's Yoshida, a lot of singles, sometimes some doubles into the gap. You will hit the occasional home run here or there, but I do think that on Sunday Night Baseball, Yoshida's coming through. So Matt McClain, we got Masataka Yoshida, both going to likely bat in the 2 spot for their respective teams on the road, so should see plenty of plate appearances. I certainly think both of them get a hit and get it done. But Logan, you got another play. What's it going to be?
Yeah, we're going with a first five innings team total bet in this one. I'm taking the Rockies first 5 innings team total over 2.5 in this one, minus 120 odds on DraftKings, currently your best value. Now, before we get several questions, I just want to address it, so please listen up. This is the first time I'm betting on a first 5 team total. I normally don't bet on this market because Austin and I get 1,000 questions. I bet on FanDuel. I don't have this market. Yes, it's just not available on FanDuel. You're going to have to go to another book like DraftKings, though, to try to find this one. But I'm on DraftKings for this one, and I do really like this bet. If you don't have, if you don't have DraftKings and you want to bet it on FanDuel, I would consider maybe taking the Rockies full game team total over 4.5 or 5, depending on what your book is. If you don't want to bet just the first 5 innings team total, but I am targeting the first 5 innings team total because it's a little bit too high for me full game, but I really just want this matchup against Blake Snell. Now, Blake Snell starting for the Padres today, 4.06 ERA, 1.44 WHIP on the year. Real reason I'm here is because Blake Snell, my guy, who I like to fade a lot, is pitching at Coors Field, and everybody knows how much he struggles at Coors Field. At Colorado, Snell has a career 7.48 ERA and a 1.94 WHIP in 5 games pitched in Colorado. His walk per 9 ratio at Coors Field is 7.48 as well. If having a walks per 9 ratio that high is just, that's the kind of pitcher Blake Snell is. And at Coors Field, his mistakes just amplify, and that's why he's coming out, with almost an 8 ERA at Coors. Snell has been better on the road in this year. 3.52 ERA, but I need to see if he's conquered his demons at Coors Field, because until I see it, I gotta bet this one. This is one I've been looking at the board for a while. Snell is 8th percentile in walk percentage. He has not corrected the walks this year, and walks have been a problem for Snell, in his career, especially. Free base runners at Coors Field mean just a few swing of the bats can cash this team total, because you just picture this scenario, right? Instead of just having a solo home run or even a 2-run home run, if he walked a guy into scoring position, that's how you just get those extra big innings. And Snell has just been showing the ability to do that this year. Colorado hitting 243 at lefty versus lefties at home this year. I would like to see that batting average be a little bit better, but they're not smoking lefties. Snell should still give them plenty of run opportunities in this one. I just simply think that's how this one's going to go. The full game over-under is set to 12.5. I mean, I'd be surprised if the odds makers made that line knowing that Snell was going to go out and finally conquer his Coors Field demons. I just don't think they set it that high if they're not going to get run contribution from the Rockies. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Rockies over 2.5 in the first 5 team total. I know it's a weird niche bet, but I think it has a really good chance against Blake Snell today. So that's going to be my second pick. But Austin, Nerfy Nation time. Get him out.
Yeah, get the music going, baby. 6 quick outs. We finally had a couple of these in a row. I had a pretty decent run, and hopefully we get another winner today. And let's end the week in style and go into Monday with a winner. And we're not going to be taking the Marlins White Sox Nerfy, although Logan's on the over, so the Nerfy probably hits because that's normally how it works. Never lucky enough to get runs in the first. But we really like this one today. It's going to be the Royals and Orioles. No run first inning. Currently minus 105 on DraftKings. So you're getting pretty good value here. We're not telling you, hey, take the most juice Nerfy on the slate. No, this is not even close to that. So minus 105, we'll take a shot here. Now, let's talk about this one. It's an earlier start at 1:35 as usual. On Sundays, you get a lot of early starts, so make sure you're locking in those bets early. But let's talk about this one. We're going to lead off the inning, the top of the first, with Kyle Gibson. Now, Gibson is a pitch to contact guy, not really a guy that's going to go out there and try to strike out, 10 guys, and probably not striking out the side, which is fine here when you kind of want those guys in the first inning that are just pitch to contact, just trying to get those easy ground ball outs. That's how you have easy sweat-free innings. But you look at Gibson, 9-4 on no run first innings, pretty solid. The Royals, 17th in first inning runs. They are 24th on the road. And when you look at the splits versus Gibson, I don't know the Royals lineup who they're starting, but Prado has been starting in the leadoff spot. He's 2 for 3, so decent versus Gibson. But really, you got Salvador Perez, 6 for 47, batting like 128. You got Melendez batting 0 for 3 versus Gibson. And then you got Bobby Wood Jr., 1 for 4. So they don't really have the greatest splits versus Gibson. Certainly think Gibson can come out here and get it done. And look, the Royals haven't scored in the first inning in the past couple games. They've got normally an offense that struggles on the road. So give me 3 outs, Mr. Gibson. And who's on the other side, Logan?
Yeah, it's going to be Carlos Hernandez for the Royals. He needs to get us those last 3 outs we need. Hernandez 3-0 on Nerfies this year, so pretty solid. Small sample size, but he's been good. He knows his job. He's not going to go deep into this game. His job is just to get those 3 outs for us. Orioles 28th in first inning runs. Historically, or this season, the Orioles just haven't been starting really hot out of the gates. Knock on wood. Hopefully that continues today. The over-under set to 9, a little bit high for this one. That's why we're getting the value that we are. But this is a value no-run first inning. I do think it stands a really good chance of cashing. We need Gibson to keep the ground balls, in check. If Gibson starts pitching up in the zone and the Royals take him for a ride, might get a little dicey, but I still do like it. Nerfy Nation, let's go.
Yeah, let's fly the flags, baby. It's worth noting anyone that's taken the Nerfy in the first 2 games of the series are 0-2, so they're probably not crazy enough to take it for a 3rd straight game. So hopefully they can wave these flags and get a third straight Nerfy Nation winner for us. So let's have a great day. Let's have a great Sunday. We have 4 picks. Hopefully bring out the brooms for the first time in a hot minute. We are certainly due a sweep. Let's have a great day. Hopefully you guys have a great one, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow for some more picks. See you guys then. Peace.